These are the 4 major culture shocks Japanese people might experience visiting the UK for the first time. Crossing the road. So if you've ever visited Japan, if you live in Japan maybe, you'll definitely notice the difference between Japan and the UK. It was pretty noticeable early on when I first visited Japan how strict people are with crossing the road. Like it's kind of different to the UK. I noticed that a lot of people would wait until the green light. It was only a few times that I noticed people would cross on the red, but that's very rare. As far as I'm aware, it's like kind of rare to see that. Whereas in the UK, there is this idea that most people cross on a red light, which in actuality, I think that is kind of inaccurate. I don't think that's completely true. I think a lot of people do wait for the green man or green light. Do you have a man in Japan? I don't remember a green man, but in the UK you can have a green light or a green man. A lot of people do wait actually, but there are people who break the rules, who cross when they shouldn't, and that's a fact. Me growing up in Nottingham, in England, I know that. I know that people cross it all the time when they shouldn't. But a lot of times when there's kids around, that is when it differs. So it's kind of this unspoken rule that you would wait. Even if you're really impatient and you need to get somewhere, you would wait just to set a good example for the kid that's nearby. Maybe a lot of people in the UK could relate to that, or especially in England, whereas Japan is very strict all the time. Like they'll follow the rules no matter what. So I think there is a big difference there. Also, I get the sense that it's kind of seen a little differently, so tell me if this sounds weird to you. I personally try and wait. The majority of the time I wait until it is a green light, but there is that unspoken urge to cross as fast as you can. I don't know why, it makes no sense at all. Like, I guess if you're in a rush, but it's 2 seconds like waiting time. Like everyone's so impatient in the UK, I don't know, that's what it is maybe, but they'll wait. And you can see people edging forwards closer and closer and closer and closer. It's almost like a race. I don't know if you've ever experienced that in a different country. I don't know if it's something that's uniquely UK or England. I highly doubt it is. Surely it can't just be us. I think everyone's getting more and more impatient now as a society anyway, with technology and things. You want it fast and want it there and then. You can see people edging forwards and they want to be the first one across the road. And if you're left waiting, you're kind of seen as lame. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe it's just my perspective growing up. That's how I interpreted it. But I highly doubt it is. I don't think it's just me who feels that way. It's kind of like, why are you waiting there? Like, there's no cars around and the light's on green. Like, go. Like, even if it is a red light and there's no cars around, it's pretty common knowledge that we're like, oh, just go already. Like, what are you waiting for? Use your own common sense, that sort of mindset. Whereas Japan is very follow the rules, even if there's no cars in sight. And I kind of appreciate that. For me, I kind of understand both sides. For me, I like to follow the rules, particularly because even if there are no cars, it gets you into a good habit. I think habits are a really important thing and they're essential. So if you instill a good habit from early on, like it's something that I would teach if I had kids. I would teach my kids to wait even if they don't see cars, because then there's no chance of an accident. That's what I really appreciate about Japan. So let me know in the comments below how you act when you see the green and the red light. Do you obey the rules? Do you give a little? I definitely think it's a bit more free in the UK and in England in particular. I've travelled to Germany and I noticed that they're also very, very strict with the crossing the road at the right time. They'll all wait. Maybe it differs in different countries. Let me know in the comments below how it is where you live. So the next one is ice cream trucks. So if you've travelled to Japan, especially in Tokyo near wintertime, you might have known about or seen the Yakimo trucks that go by. The person in the van travels around Tokyo. As far as I'm aware, it's mostly Tokyo, but let me know if you've seen it in anywhere else in Japan. I've never personally seen it. I really, really want to see the Yakimo truck and try it out because I love sweet potato. So they sell this grilled or baked potato. Pretty sure it's grilled. Yeah, yaki means grill. And it looks so yummy and so delicious. And it's kind of cool that it's healthy. So similarly to that in the UK, you'll get an ice cream truck. I don't know if you're aware of this, if you've ever been to the UK or if you're planning on going to the UK, you might have heard of it or might have seen pictures of it or videos. It's very nostalgic, very natsukashi na. Like you'll hear the song, that's the first thing that you'll hear. Similarly to the Yakimo truck, there's like this particular song that plays all the time, and that's kind of like, oh my god, the band's here, like the kids run out and they buy the sweet potato with their parents. So in the UK it's an ice cream truck, and they play different songs actually, normally like nursery rhymes or familiar songs somehow, like you'll hear the song way before you see the truck, and that would be like the yatta. It's so delicious, and they have like lots of different varieties. Like I say, each truck has a different song, so I think different people will associate the ice cream trucks with different songs depending on where you grew up. Like, it's a very regional thing, I think. So yeah, that might be something to look out for if you've never seen it. It's really yummy, especially in summertime. It is mostly in summertime, I have to be honest. There's also one in the town centre. It just stays there all the time. Normally they're travelling around, but this one's always there in the town centre. I don't quite know why. It's not exactly sunny all the time in England. Like, it's quite a rare thing. Like, when I hear the song, it is like a shock to hear it. Like, oh wow, he's here, I'm so excited. Like, you feel that childhood, that youth welling up inside you, like, oh, I'm gonna get ice cream. So yeah, definitely look out for that and definitely try it. Obviously it's not as healthy as the Japanese alternative, and I kind of wish that we had that actually. If I had to choose between ice cream and a yakimo truck, I feel like most people would probably choose the ice cream because it's pretty tasty, right? But it would be so good to have that healthy alternative, to look forward to something that's also not going to make you feel sick afterwards. I think that's really, really great. So when I heard about that, I just got so excited, and I've never seen it. So let me know, whereabouts in Japan do you see the yakimo truck? And do you know the song? We're going to have to sing it together, I'm going to have to learn it. No masks in the UK. So pre-pandemic, it's very, very rare to see anyone wearing masks in the UK, I have to be honest. In England, they were very strange. Like, after visiting Japan and wearing the mask in Japan, which felt odd, right? If you grow up in a country that doesn't wear masks, it does feel a bit weird, right? To wear it and you feel like everyone's watching you or looking at you, or I don't know, it just feels different. So after I came back from Japan, I actually loved wearing the mask. So then when the pandemic hit, everyone had to wear masks, but they didn't want to in a way. Like, it felt a little odd. Like, we're just not used to it. In the UK, when you're ill, you don't wear a mask. On public transport, you don't wear a mask. But in Japan, you do. I think it's, as far as I'm aware, it's quite normal to wear masks on public transport especially, and when they're ill, to be considerate of others, etc. So that might be a little odd for you if you're Japanese, coming from a country that grows up with people wearing masks on a regular basis. It might be strange to you that when you come to the UK, you don't see that. And it can be quite, maybe scary if when people are ill, you see them not wearing a mask. You might be like, why? Like, why aren't they wearing it? But it culturally is very, very different. Post-pandemic, you will see, I think more people have been wearing masks. So if you wanted to wear a mask in the UK, you wouldn't stand out quite as much as before. You would get a lot of stares before, but now I think people are more used to the idea. So, but it still stands out, in my opinion. I think as soon as the pandemic was over, like, people couldn't wait to not wear masks anymore because we hadn't grown up with it. But in Japan, as far as I'm aware, people still wear them to this day. So you might be a bit shocked to find that out if you come here. But I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing a mask. If you chose to wear a mask here, it's your own decision, right? But it's just something to be aware of. Clothing in the UK. So the last time I visited Japan, it was in March, April time, the sakura season. Peak sakura season, like, it's so beautiful. And I went with a mixed wardrobe, I've got to say. Like, most of the time I wore a woolly hat, which is just so me, right? Like, I should apologise to Japanese people for that, I don't know. I feel like I was born wearing a woolly hat. It's how I feel comfortable. But also, I wore like shorts and t-shirts and things that could show your skin, right? Because in the UK, that's so normal. In summertime especially, like, because we don't get much summertime here, I feel like when it is summertime, when it is hot, everybody jumps the chance to wear less clothes because it feels comfortable, looks nice. I don't know, you just want to be free. I just can't explain it. That's culturally, it's just a thing. Like, it's not uncommon to see guys with no tops on at all. Like, when I see that, it's like, okay, you're just trying to show off. Like, put it away. Like, put it away. Keep it in your own house. But it's not like, it doesn't offend me and I'm used to it. But in Japan, it seems like a little different. Like, when I went to Japan myself, and I was wearing the shorts and the skirts and to be fair, I don't even really wear skirts that often, but in Japan, because it's a holiday, I wanted to look nice and I wanted to be all summery and stuff. So when I was wearing that, I was painfully aware of how different I looked to everyone else. Obviously, I'm not Japanese. There's a big difference, like, people are gonna notice, aren't they? But that aside, everyone seems to wear more clothes in the summertime, or when it's hot, springtime, summertime. So I think a lot of Japanese women, especially, in hotter weather, they wear longer skirts. If you're Japanese, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard that Japanese people, and from what I've seen when I was there, in hotter weather, Japanese women wear longer clothes to cover up their skin, to protect their skin, and they like the pale look. Whereas in the UK, it's the opposite, it's complete opposite. I have been bullied all the time, mocked for not putting on a tan, for being too pale. So I've grown up thinking, oh, my skin's too pale. I need to be in the sun and get a suntan, which to be honest, I ignore. Like, I care about my skin and I don't mind being pale, but a lot of UK people prefer a tan. They see it as healthy looking, like glowing, like golden look. They love the golden look. So in England, people wear less and they'll like getting a suntan. A lot of people here will go in sunbeds when it's not sunny, and that to me is bad for your skin as far as I'm aware. So I choose not to do that. So maybe I'm a little bit different in that regard. But in Japan, they wear more and they wear less in wintertime, which I found crazy. Like, if I saw Japanese women or men like wearing less in the winter, I would be like, aren't you cold? I put on more in wintertime, like to cover up and to be warm and cozy. So it's just completely different. I find that really fascinating. So maybe you can explain it a little bit more in detail in the comments if you know why. If you live in Japan yourself, like, how do you feel about that? If you ever come to UK, do you find it odd that we wear less in summertime? Is it quite like shocking to see that? So culturally, we're a bit different in that area. And don't even get me started on when people go clubbing, okay? So you just don't want to see us when we're in the clubbing scene. So when people are going out partying, clubbing, they wear nothing, like literally nothing, like the skimpiest little outfits I've ever seen. That'll be a shock to you if you've never seen that. But most of the time, in England it's pretty cold, so a lot of the time we wear jumpers and jogging bottoms and jeans and t-shirts and things like that. So we're not always bearing our skin, like, we're not always naked, I promise. Please don't be put off by that. But yeah, it's just something to know that's just a little bit different to Japan, I think. So that's it, that's my 4 major culture shocks you might experience in the UK if you're Japanese, or maybe if you're not Japanese, but in particular Japanese. So yeah, let me know what you think to those. Did you know about them? Do you have any other big culture shocks that you have in mind? If you do, comment them down below for me. That's it, mite kurete, arigato, bye bye! Wait, mate,ちょっと待って. Just a little side note before you go. As you probably realised, we've just reached 500 subscribers, and I'm so excited. Yay! So I just want to thank everyone that made that possible, and just to let you know, I'm now able to set up the memberships on this channel. So if you want to support this channel, by no means are you obligated to do this, but if you do want to support this channel even more, if you sign up to any of the memberships, please know that it will be really, really appreciated. So thank you so much. Please subscribe to this channel and like this video if you enjoy this content and you want to see more. Thank you, bye bye for now. These are the 4 major culture. Oh my god. These are the 4 major culture shocks. I can't speak. It was pretty noticeable soon on. What am I trying to say? If you've ever been to the UK or.
So right now it's recording.
Hi everybody.